Hello class, this is a video tutorial on the adding and subtraction of fractions. This video we will look at how to add and subtract improper or mixed fractions and integers with other fractions. Let's go straight into it. So let's take a look first at improper fractions. 1a. So let's say we have two improper fractions. So let's say we have 3 over 2 plus, we'll make it 5 over 3. Just as we did with regular fractions, we still need to have the lowest common multiple between 2 and 3. So let's find the lowest common multiple, the multiples of 2, sorry. 2, 4, 6, 8. Multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, and I can already see a common multiple between the two. So we will make both of these fractions over 6. 2 to become 3, 2 to become 6, we need to multiply by 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 to become 6, we need to multiply it by 2. 5 times 2 is 10. Since they have the same denominator, we can add these. 9 plus 10 is 19 over 6. And we're going to leave it as an improper fraction. As you can see, it still follows the exact same principles of any other addition or subtraction of fractions. So let's take a look at another example. Let's take a look at 4/3 subtracted by, we'll make it 6/5. Once again, we need, once again, we need to find the lowest common multiple between 3 and 5. So 3, let's find multiples of 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. I believe it's going to be 15. Let's test some more. 5, 10, 15. So our lowest common multiple will be 15. 15. 3 to become 15, we multiply by 5. 4 times 5 is 20. 5 to become 15, we need 3. So 6 times 3 is 18. Since we have the same denominator, we can just focus on the numerator. 20 minus 18 is 2. 15 remains the same denominator. One more example. Let's take a look at example C. Let's have another improper fraction, 7/5 subtracted by, and we'll make it a regular fraction. We'll make it 5/6. Whoops. Once again, multiples of 5 and 6. 5, 10, 15, 20. Multiples of 6. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Let's keep going with the 5s. 25. And 30 is our lowest common multiple. So let's put both of these fractions over 30. 5 to become 30, we need 6. So 7 times 6 is 42. 6 to become 30, we multiply by 5. 5 times 5 is 25. 42, take away 25. That will give me 22. That will give me 17 over 30. So that's where we have two different or improper fractions. once we have mixed numerals or mixed fractions, let's take, for example, 1 and 3 fifths, adding 2 and 1 quarter. What we actually do is we focus on two different parts. We focus first on the whole numbers, so we go 1 plus 2 is actually 3, and for this one we actually need to add, also because this is 1 plus 3 fifths and 2 plus 1 quarter, so in actual fact we have to add the fractions separately, like so. Oops, that should be 4. And then we focus solely on these two, like we normally would. Let's find multiples of 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Multiples of 5. 5, 10, 15, and 20. So 20 is going to be our common multiple. Here we have now that 3 remains the same because it has not changed. This 5 is now going to be 20, and this 4 is now also going to be 20. 5 to become 20, we need to multiply by 4. So 3 times 4 is 12. 4 to become 20, we need to multiply by 5. So 1 times 5 is 5. And now we can add these two fractions together. This will give us 17 over 20, and that 3 will go out in front. So we end with another mixed numeral. Another way we can do this is we treat these as improper fractions. I'll show you what we mean. Let's take a look at 1 and 1/2, adding 3 and 3 fifths. What we can actually do is we can convert both of these into improper fractions. So 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3 over 2. Adding 5 times 3 is 15. 15 plus 3 is 18 over 5. And in doing this way, we can add these like we normally would, fractions with two different denominators. I'm going to start skipping this process because I know that the common denominator is 10. 2 times 5 is 10. So we multiply the numerator by 5 as well. 3 times 5 is 15. 5 times 2 is 10. So we multiply the numerator by 2. 18 times 2 is 36. Adding the numerators together, we get 40. We get 51 over 10. One final example now is what happens if we have whole numbers, or integers is what they're called. Integers are whole numbers. So let's take a look at the final set of examples. Let's take a look at this mixed fraction. We'll stick with the regular one first. We go with 1 and 1/1/5 plus 2. One way we could treat this is we can have it just as a mixed fraction. So we can just leave it as 2 and 1/5. Another way we can treat this, I'm going to write it again, is integers are actually fractions with a denominator of 1. And the lowest common multiple between 5 and 1 will actually be the larger number. So this is going to be 5, 5. This fraction remains the same. 1 to become 5, we multiplied by 5, which means we multiply 2 by 5, which gives me 10. That will give me 1 plus 10 is 11 over 5. And if we go back here and convert this fraction into an improper fraction, we get 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11 over 5. So either way we treat this, we get the same result. Let's take a look at now what happens when we subtract fractions with whole numbers. Let's take a look at this mixed fraction, 3 and 1/3. Take away 2 and 1/2. For this, I like to actually convert both of these into improper fractions. So 3 times 3 is 9. 9 plus 1 is 10 over 3. 2 times 2 is 4. Plus 1 is 5 over 2. Lowest common multiple between 3 and 2 is 6. 3 to become 6 is multiplied by 2. So we multiply this numerator by 2. 2 times 3 is 6. So we multiply this number by 3 as well. So we get 15. This final answer, 20 take away 15, gives us 5 over 6. So I hope this gives you an insight into the addition and subtraction of fractions with improper and mixed fractions and integers.